Hello everybody, it's Michael from Replica Airguns with another blank gun video. Today we're looking at the ROHM Little Joe belt buckle 6mm Flobert blank gun. And just so you know, the 6mm Flobert, they're the same as the 22 caliber acorn style blanks, and I'll show you those in a little bit. Now this is the belt buckle version of the Little Joe as compared to the non-belt buckle version. We'll sort of show you what's really different. There's only really a couple things different. Now we don't sell the belt buckle version here in the Canada store or even in the US store. We don't really sell ROHM blank guns in our US online Replica Airgun store, but we do sell ROHM blank guns in our Canada Replica Airgun store. As a matter of fact, ROHM is really the only brand we sell in terms of blank guns here in Canada. We only have really one brand that we're able to import here, and that's what we have, the ROHM. Now they are a good quality blank gun. They're not replicas per se, but they do look like guns, they shoot like guns, they operate like guns, they sound like guns. They're just blank guns. I know I have a lot of people ask me this question. Can you shoot real bullets in a blank gun? No, you can't. They're completely different. In most cases, the barrels are somewhat plugged, if not fully plugged. So if they're fully plugged, then they shoot out the top somewhere. If they're not fully plugged, they'll shoot the gases and fire and flame out the front. But nothing's going to be able to travel down that barrel. There's usually some sort of obstruction in there. Not to mention that these guns really are not built for any type of pressure because there's no bullet, there's no back pressure in the gun. They're made with lesser quality materials than a real gun. They're usually made with the same type of materials as air guns, so zinc, alloys, as opposed to hardened steel that you would find in a real gun. Another thing people ask me is, why would you want a blank gun? Well, there's times when you want to shoot a gun, not necessarily at a target or a person or some sort of pest or anything like that. You just want to operate the gun. You want it to sound like the gun. Great for training people, training animals. Great for movies, props, TVs, you know, that kind of thing. And also just plain and simple for collection. A lot of times you can own a blank gun a lot easier than a real gun. And if you're just collecting it, you know, it's a collection type of thing. You just want to look at it, handle it sometimes, put it in your collection with your other guns. You're not really going to shoot it. Does it need to shoot a real bullet? As long as it looks the part, that's pretty much all you need. Alright, getting back to the whole reason of this video, the ROHM Little Joe belt buckle 6mm or acorn blank gun. Let's get right into it. Let's talk about some of the specs. Again, this uses 22 caliber crimped acorn blanks or 6mm Flobert, same type of ammo. It is a revolver and it has a 5-round cylinder. Now it comes in at a whopping 0.3 pounds or 134 grams. That's just for the revolver, not for the belt buckle. The belt buckle may even weigh more. And this is a mostly metal gun. Of course, it has the plastic grips. Again, this is a front-firing pistol with a semi-plugged barrel. And the version I have here is the satin or stainless finish. And this blank gun shoots in single action only. Now in terms of being a replica, I wouldn't say it's an exact replica of really any particular gun, but it does loosely look like the North American Arms, and it's called the NAA-22S mini revolver chambered in 22 short. So if you look that one up, you'll see it is kind of similar looking, a little bit different though, but size, weight, and whatnot would be very similar. Alright, as you can see, we have this plastic case that it came in. And that's all you get. I didn't get anything other than this. It was wrapped in plastic. I didn't get a manual. I didn't get even a flare adapter. So here's the flare adapter that would normally go on this gun. You can see it fits on the regular non-belt buckle version, but that would allow you to shoot flares. I didn't get the flare with this one. This one's mainly for show, right? So just to show you kind of the difference here, if you push this in, the gun comes out. So there's a little button here, you push that in, and what holds it all in is this little bit here that kind of goes into that hole there. As you can see, it goes into that hole, that little bit there, and holds the gun in, right? So that's really the only difference you're going to find here is that little piece there. So that pin has been changed over from a screw to this guy here. So I'm sure you could swap it back or potentially even take this and put it on here. But as it is, that's really the only difference in the revolvers. Now if you want to actually watch a shooting video, I have done a shooting video for my ROHM Little Joe, and I've also done a full tabletop video for it as well. So check those out. I'll put the links in the description of this video along with also the post. I'll have links in the post there for you too. Alright, so at this point I want to show you some other guns. We will get back to the ROHM Little Joe and do a complete walk around, but I want to compare it to a couple other pistols that I've reviewed. We have our RG3 here, again 6mm Flobert or 22 Acorn, so similar Acorn style. And this is in what's called E mode for empty, and it allows me to basically feed the magazine through it without firing anything. Okay, so here's the magazine. Basically you load it from the bottom, and the Acorn or 6mm Flobert, and then you put it in the gun like so to feed it. And then what you would do is you'd put this on safe or fire to shoot it. Keep it in E, it's a good mode to have it in. E is kind of like safe, it just allows you to bring the ammo through. Now we also have sort of a bigger version. This is the RG300, and I've reviewed these guns. I've reviewed all of these guns. Make sure to check them out. Links I'll put in the description, of course, and in the post, the written post. Here's the RG300. Same thing applies. Put it in E, and you'll see here, out comes, he likes to come all the way. So a little bit more ammo in this one. Again, you just put it in the front when you're ready to go, and you can shoot all those blanks. Again, these are front firing, so the actual round fires up, and then the exhaust goes down through the barrel and out the front. They're kind of neat though. They are front firing. I'll show you the other one here just to let you see the front. This one does actually take a flare adapter. This one does too. They both have threaded barrels. Alright. And just so you can see, flare adapters on them. Okay, this one came with a flare adapter. Kind of cool. Alright, I want to show you those Acorn rounds. They're not very big, as you can see. They're kind of small. But that's all you need. Right? They go bang, they make a nice sound, a lot louder than a cap gun, not as loud as a 9mm or a 380 blank or even an 8mm blank, but loud enough to definitely make a noise. You know, they sound like guns, just smaller caliber guns. Alright, so I'm going to do the walk around here. We'll look at the gun in the belt buckle first. You can see the belt buckle in detail. Okay, the back side. I haven't worn it yet. See, Germany, made in Germany. Okay, there's the part that holds the gun in place. Here's the belt buckle portion, right? So you loop it around your belt, go through the hole here. Okay, again, I'm going to pop it out, push the button there, I'll put this back down there. Let's take a closer look at the gun itself. Little Joe. Everything's metal, nice stamping on it. Sorry about the focus, it's such a little gun, it's hard to focus on it. Little Joe there again. ROHM. There's that part that goes into the belt buckle. Let's get that to focus here for you guys. There, made in Germany, serial number. Okay, now to load it, you'd basically just pull this pin out and move the cylinder out, and you just load it up like that. Put your Acorns in there, 5 rounds. You can take the cylinder right out. You would just remove this screw here, and this whole guy would come out. Whoops, gotta close it first. Just pressure fit, no screwing or anything like that. I can't really show you, it's a little bit tough here, but there are some obstructions in there, basically down each side there's sort of some metal that's been added to restrict the barrel somewhat. Okay, it is single action only. Let me just, it's not loading up for some reason. You know what, this isn't in all the way, that's why. There, okay, so that needs to be in all the way. Wasn't quite in all the way, so it wasn't going back. Basically, cock the gun, single action only, and there's your firing pin right on the hammer. It hits the Acorns, and that's it. Bob's your uncle, and she makes the noise. Goes bang, of course. Now these grips are plastic. They're not some sort of wood grip, but they look good. They look nice. Okay, now your sights are pretty straightforward here. Just your post and groove. Okay, like you'd find on a real similar gun like this. That's pretty much it. Not much to it, really. Pop it in and you're good to go. Alright, let's talk a little bit about some of the pros and the cons. Now it's a blank gun that fits into a belt buckle. I mean, how cool is that? Right there, that's a big pro. It's German made, so it has the German quality. I like the satin or stainless finish. We do sell this one in our Canada store, again I'll mention that, and we sell it in, I believe it's in the blued version, not the stainless, but same gun, just a different finish. Now it's pretty much all metal with some steel reinforced areas. I didn't really go over it, but basically the pins, so let me just grab the other one quick. Your pins are going to be steel, right? These guys are going to be steel, not your hammer. The gun is zinc alloy, even the barrel is zinc, but some reinforcement parts, screws, pins, you know, this type of thing, the guide rod here. Just that's going to be steel. The rest is going to be zinc metal or zinc alloy. Now, I like that it uses the inexpensive 22 Acorn blanks. They're fairly inexpensive for the tins. Regular 8mm, 9mm can get up there in price. Of course, similar ammo would be 6mm Flobert. And another thing that's kind of cool is it is rare in Canada, so if you own one, then it's cool. If you don't own one, well, that's not so cool. So getting into the cons, hard to get the belt buckle version here in Canada. We can, again, get the non-belt buckle version, but the belt buckle version, again, not so easy to get. And the last thing I didn't really talk about until now is I'm not sure about the legalities of actually wearing this belt buckle. You know, here in Canada we have some pretty sticky laws in terms of weapons and prohibited weapons and carrying weapons, concealed weapons, all of that stuff. What is a weapon? I mean, that's a very confusing topic. As far as I know, blank guns are not weapons. They are signaling devices. As long as it's not a replica, you shouldn't have a problem with it, with transporting it or anything like that. Now, obviously, keep it in a safe place. Keep it out of sight, right? So if you're wearing a gun on your belt, you know, it does look like maybe it's not a real gun because it's so small. You might be fooling people. They might be thinking, oh, it's just a belt buckle. But then someone's going to figure it out, I'm sure, at some point. Hey, that guy's got a gun in his belt. And then, you know, the cat's out of the bag. Next thing you know, the police are coming down, SWAT's at your door, right? Do you really want that? Whether or not they can charge you with anything doesn't really matter. They're going to try, and if they do that, then you're going to have to spend a lot of your time trying to convince a court that you didn't do anything wrong. Alright, so do you really want to spend your time doing those types of things or other things? That's really what you got to ask yourself. Alright, thanks for watching another Replica Airguns video. Don't forget to subscribe. Check me out on Facebook and Twitter. Username is Replica Airguns. And again, these ROHM blank guns, other than this belt buckle version, are in our Canada Replica Airgun Store. We have a whole bunch of versions there, even some semi-auto versions in 9mm as well. So check that out at replicaairguns.ca. We also have a replicaairguns.com US store where we sell air guns, blank guns, BB guns, pellet guns, airsoft guns, knives, and other accessories. Same goes for our Canada store. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.